the mountain with Rick and Ben, and it is time for World Building Wednesdays. But first, coffee. And then I have a very, very important burning question for in relation to exactly what you were just talking about, Ben, and that is, what does the fox say?
I hated that song.
I know. That's why it's funny.
I think most people didn't actually like that song.
That is exactly why it's so funny. I don't think anybody except kids like that song. I didn't actually hate it, but yeah, I'm not like, oh my god.
Yeah. So I have two ideas of what could happen to the fox.
Okay.
Idea one, it doesn't survive their ascension.
Okay.
It would make sense.
Yeah. I mean, one would imagine if Goku had a ringworm and then went Super Saiyan, he probably wouldn't have a ringworm anymore.
True. The other option is they've realized before their ascension happens, when they're like experienced but not gods, they find a way to get him out of there and free him somewhere.
Okay. Where would that be?
Good question. Like, all of these characters' disappearances really fucks up everything in their worlds, because the lack of their disappearance, the lack of their existing there.
Yeah, but we don't care about that. That's not the fun part of this story.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a valid part of the story, but it's not the fun part.
Here's the funny thing about Copper's scenario, though. Without him or the fox there, like, none of the plot happens. None of it.
Well, I mean, there is still something to be said for none of it. Obviously, it's a fucking territory in Canada. Hey!
Yeah, the main bad guys of Naruto just don't happen. They're basically on the back burner until they find the fox. But if the fox was let go in another goddamn world, they're at an impasse. Their plans can't complete, and so everything just stalls.
Would they know that, though, or would they still be on their quest to find it, even though it's not possible?
They might be on their quest to find it, but eventually they're just going to have to say, well, he went missing. Nobody knows where he is. Nobody seems to find him, so plan B. And I've never heard of any of them having a plan B. Because, like, you know, plan A kind of worked. I don't think the fox should be on Galil.
Okay, I wasn't really suggesting that. Like, I was willing to entertain it, but I didn't think it was the right answer. Like,
no. I mean,
I'm thinking it's one of their other jumps, but where? I think it would be very, very funny to leave it in the Arrowverse. I think it would be very funny to leave it in the Arrowverse.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter in the case of the story. It's not around anymore.
Exactly. Like, it does not matter one whit or iota. You can absolutely put it any fucking where. But it's funny.
I mean, I have no idea what it would do in Galil.
Yeah, I don't know hardly anything about it at all, so I'm definitely no font of ideas.
It's some think about it because I read a lot of the fan fiction about that particular story, and I've watched the first series, most of the second series. The third series sucks, and I'm not going to watch it because it looks stupid.
How many series are there?
I think 3.
And when did Series 3 complete?
As far as I know, it's still going, but I'm not entirely certain because I don't watch it and I don't keep up on it.
Fair.
There might be even a Series 4, but if there is, I don't care. Series 1 is him as a kid. Series 2 is him as a teenager. And then ends with, the defeat of the main bad guy. Series 3 is he takes a back seat and dies. I think in the, not super early on, but relatively early on. And then his kids take the forefront. Which...
Okay, yeah, I can see why you don't like that. The show is named after a character that is no longer present.
No, they don't. They changed the name of the show, but it's stupid, and so I don't watch it.
Do you not like the kids?
I didn't see a reason why they needed to continue. It's one of those points where, the story wrapped up fine, everybody had their happy ending, why the fuck you ruining it? They
Gotcha.
had their happy ending.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been mulling over in my mind goblins a lot lately, and not even so much the Cadwallader goblins, but just regular fucking goblins, and hobgoblins and bugbears. And I know for certain that goblins are the only ones that came from a Saurian. And then I feel like as they age, if they survive to a certain age, they would turn into either hobgoblin or bugbears.
I thought you said kobolds came from a Saurian.
Every race came from Saurians. Kobolds came from Saurian doing other things than normal how Saurians make the races. But all of the races came from Saurians.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking of for the goblins, just having them kind of age into their further forms.
Yeah, and I'm figuring, most goblins probably died before 20. Kind of like kobolds. Most kobolds don't make it to 20. But once you do, their actual, maximum lifespan is 100 fucking years for a kobold. So I'm figuring a goblin maybe gets, if a goblin gets to, 60, 70, all of a sudden they just start fucking growing. And based on how they are personality-wise and what they have done throughout their life, they could turn into the bugbear or the hobgoblin.
I think I sort of like that, except I think it might need to happen sooner. I think there needs to be a situation where the goblins don't exit goblin. My thoughts were, I had this idea for a campaign in a disaster scenario, but I'm never going to play it, so I'll just tell you now. Basically, a giant winter storm covers the entire goddamn planet.
Okay.
There are a handful of these sanctuaries around. Some of them are just natural locations that are sheltered from the global storm, the global ice storm, and some of them are magical locations that are kept safe via a relic of some kind or whatnot. There are a number of these sanctuaries.
Okay.
The story was supposed to be modern day this storm hits. No one understands it. It's magic. No one gets why it happens. No one gets why some of these, like, old relic places are safe. But they are.
Okay.
The different other races become what they are by the magic of the storm and their certain circumstances. Like, a bunch of people in big cities, they retreated underground into tunnels and subway systems. And they just stayed there, eventually shoring up and doing work to make sure that their tunnels didn't collapse. And as they lived there, they slowly became dwarves because of their circumstances and the magic of the storm. And that's sort of what I was thinking of when you were talking about the goblins changing. Is that, like, you have goblins at a certain point. If a goblin comes into a certain stimuli, something around him or something he does regularly, he will become something else. But if he doesn't do that, he stays a goblin.
Okay, I think that's an interesting twist on it. I really like the goblins into dwarves. Obviously, that does not fit with our creation myth, but it's a really cool idea. And yeah, I can see how you apply that. I do like the idea of some goblins just staying goblins as well. And, like, I don't think there's going to be any hobgoblins or bugbears in Cadwall. If you want there to be, there certainly can be. But I'm thinking that Cadwall goblins are...
There might be, but I don't think there'd be really any reason for them to become the others.
Exactly. I think that they just, that it's just a goblin thing. And I think that they're separate from the other goblins long before they found Cadwall. Just the fact that they were on that side. Like, they were long separated from the rest of goblin kind. And so maybe that's actually why they left, is because they wanted to stay goblins.
Honestly, with goblins, I think their ancestry is basically lost, because they were on the ice side a lot longer than Cadwaller was a thing. Probably a lot longer than Cadwaller was a thing. They were just barely subsistence living.
Yeah. And then happened to stumble upon the ruins, and
so, like, as far as Cadwaller goes, their history starts with Cadwaller. The goblins of Cadwaller, their history starts there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everything that came before, no one really remembers it. Except for, the dragon gods, because they were there not that long before before those events. You know what I decided for elves?
What's that?
In that like the apocalypse ice storm scenario.
Yeah.
Like, at the very beginning, everyone was human. Because, it was modern day world. There are no elves or dwarves. But the elves were the people who managed to survive in their own homes in the storm, in, like, basements and bunkers and whatnot, and risked the ice damage of the storm to get supplies and whatnot. And they're people who, they basically grew up in the storm, and so they got really good at traveling and traveling through it.
Okay.
And eventually it turned them into elves, because there are no forests. There are no really vast forests in this world anymore.
Kind of makes sense. I feel like that would make for a significantly different from standard fantasy elf.
Yes. Yes, they would be. It makes them closer to Dark Sun elves.
Honestly, as much as I like Dark Sun, I don't know it very well.
Dark Sun elves are basically just desert nomads who specialize in travel.
Got it.
They trade with a lot of different other people. Most people think they're untrustworthy, and they kind of are, because as far as they're concerned, humans and other races that trade with them are dumbass idiots who deserve to be taken advantage of.
I mean, it's hard to say you're wrong.
The elves are not particularly nice people in Dark Sun, but then again, no one is in Dark Sun, so whatever.
Yeah, everything hates you, including the sun and the sand and the water. Oh, wait, there is none of that to hate you.
Nah, it's not that bad. There is some water, but, like, you're not wrong about the water hating you, because there are things of water that do hate you in Dark Sun. Like the cactuses who suck the water out of your body. The cactus monsters.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Are they psychic too?
I don't think so. Then again, I only know them from this one comic book that was set in the Dark Sun universe that I got to read.
So what age do you think the transformation should happen? I'm kind of thinking like 30, 35.
Maybe. I hadn't really thought about it much. I just know it does happen at some point. Honestly, it could happen at like 120, because but when we're talking about their transformation into gods, right?
No, I'm talking about the transformation for goblins into bugbears or hobgoblins.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the dragon god's transformation.
No, sir. Dragon gods are your territory.
Okay. I think if it's going to happen, it should. Yeah, I think like 35, mid-30s.
Yeah, and I don't like with the Saurians. It's kind of a set your clock to it type of thing. Not so much with them.
Yeah. You want to hear some more about the ice world thing?
Yeah, I do like that storm too.
The main villain was a white dragon shaman, and the secret of the whole thing was that, like, he was the main villain, but unless you were really lucky or really good, you would never have known it. Basically, the entire party would start in effectively a sanctuary based off of where I live right now, Montezuma County.
Okay.
And inside the Montezuma County, there is an artifact called the Scale Sphere that protects a 50-mile radius around itself from the storm. Which makes it one of the larger sanctuaries, actually, because that's a pretty good amount of space.
Yeah, that's a chunk.
Mm-hmm. And so, main characters are gonna start there, and put their characters, but they're gonna be sent on like missions from the council, and the head of the council is a white dragon shaman, and the secret is. The storm is his doing. He did it. He, in his early days, he set up the sanctuaries, along with some of his buddies, and he caused the storm using a bunch of meta-breath bullshit and his breath weapon. he no longer has his breath weapon because he used it to make the global storm.
Yeah, I know exactly what kind of bullshit shenaniganery you pulled to make that shit happen. Like, yes, we've done that.
We've talked about that before, but like, yeah, him and his buddies basically they ruled most of the sanctuaries. Not all of them, but most of them. And so, like, at the very end of the campaign, you eventually would go to this place. The players would eventually be sent to this place where they'd learn that's what he did. And at that point, they'd have two options. Join him in keeping what's left of the world together, or oppose him to bring the truth out.
And
that's about as far as I'd gotten. Helping him was probably the better option for the world, but I don't think any players would normally go for that. Because while his entire society he's built is based on a deception, it's keeping the world together. It's keeping everything running and people alive and happy and fed and not killing each other over like wheat harvest.
yeah, I like that. It's kind of similar to the whole question about like do we try and keep the planet as it is or return it back to its natural shape? Because if you return it back to its natural shape, probably gonna kill everybody, or at least most of body.
Well, like, there is no returning the planet back to its natural shape. The best you can do, in that particular respect, is, kill him to get rid of his breath weapon effect.
No, I meant for Galil.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that aspect of Galil. Yeah, I don't... There... Yeah, is there any way to fucking kill that storm once it's begun, other than just wait it out? And how long is it?
Basically, the storm will end like 20 minutes. The storm will end 20 minutes after the guy dies. As long as the dragon shaman is alive, the way I ruled it, the storm would end about 20 minutes after his death. But here's the thing. The planet's still a frozen shithole. You're not going to change that by killing him.
Yeah. It ends the storm, but not the effects of the storm.
Yeah, the planet is still a frozen snowball with, like, little dots where things live. It's not like you're going to get things to warm up very quickly. At all, actually, and honestly, without the cloud cover of the perpetual storm, it would probably get even colder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was I came up with that idea after watching some people playing a game called Frostpunk, which is a city building base management game where the world is turning into a frozen ball of ice, and humanity huddles around giant coal-powered generators that keep the area around them warm enough for people to live.
Yeah, sounds like exactly what you would expect for the words frost and punk slapped together like that.
Yeah. I fantasied it a bit and gave a reason for why the world went to ice, but I thought it would have been a fun campaign, but honestly, the logistics of it I probably won't ever actually play that one.
It sounds like a lot of fun, but a lot of work, yeah.
Mhm.
I wish that I could actually run Dungeon Alchemist while streaming without everything fucking dying.
What is Dungeon Alchemist?
It is how I have been able to create some awesome ass maps. Like.
That we don't use.
Huh?
And you said it's how you've created some awesome maps that we haven't used.
Correct. Correct.
Well, that brings up an interesting point. So Kyla's introduction to them.
I have a few places I think I can work you in pretty easily.
Okay. What should my character know?
That is a much better question. Also,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you kind of figure out how you are on this side, because you're obviously not attached to the wedding or anything like that.
Oh no. I actually came up with what three sites Kyla visited.
Okay.
So, went from main side to swamp side because you said that was an option with the valley.
Yep.
Swamp side met the lizard folk. Stayed with them for probably a few years. You know, got their culture down, learned a lot about them. That takes years, but eventually left because lizard folk are kind of assholes. Probably traveled back to the main side, avoided her own places and her own people, and traveled the main side for a while before arranging for travel to the desert side through a cave caravan.
Okay.
Was in the desert side for a little while and then came back to the main side to basically to ply her trade. She's basically been a gypsy for a long ass time.
Okay.
The closest thing she had to a home. I actually was thinking about this while I was driving, doing some practice thoughts of what her backstory is. And so she doesn't view her kobold birthplace as home. Really isn't. She never felt welcomed there. It's not really a home. It's just a place she started her journey. Similarly with the lizard folk. They were nice enough to her and whatnot, but she was still an outsider, really.
Okay.
So her place, her favorite place, and it's not a place that has to be on a map, but it's going to be a little slum area outside of Crack City.
Okay. Actually, we already have it on the map. We don't have anything there. It's called Howlgold. And you can do with it whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I think while she was in the desert side, that was her de facto home. I think she had a little ramshackle, shelter tent. Because it's a poorhouse. Poor people live there. But it is where she lived until she left that side. And
yeah, I like
someone
that.
else probably lives in her old house now.
I like
she
that.
doesn't mind because that's how that place works.
All right, so
That's the closest thing she has to a home.
she's gonna be at a little place called the Drink Ferry, which is at a fork in the road heading east out of town, out of Alaya.
Okay.
Before the Dragon Mount, and the fork goes off to Lakeside. Let's stop the recording so we get a little bit better performance. But if you watch the stream, or if you, well, actually, yeah, watch the stream, because that way you can see what I'm actually showing. But, like, I made this entire map in Foundry, with the exception of the, or not in Foundry, in Dungeon Alchemist. With the exception of the bridge, I had to find that online and add it. Or actually, no, I made the bridge with AI, and then cut out all the background and everything like that, and then made it as a tile so that I could upload it into Foundry to use it. But yeah, like it's a pretty cool program. It's got a bunch of stuff. Okay, no, that is not one that I did on Alchemist. This is one that I did on Alchemist. But why is it fucked up?
So my character will be at this sort of crossroads place.
Yeah. Let me see. I can pull up. Where the fuck is it?
So
Oh, I guess I haven't actually uploaded it yet. Sorry. What's up?
So what brings me to traveling with the party?
That's up to you. You're just that's where you're going to be, and they're probably gonna come in. If they don't, then I'll figure out somewhere else to put you.
Because I was thinking about the elf. The elf druid.
Yeah?
You said me coming to give them aid would be a good way to put me in.
If you haven't been on Cremille, then I don't know how well that would work, and I don't think it's actually necessary for you to have an attachment to anybody. But if you want to do that, then you can. I just don't know how she would have gotten a hold of you. I don't know how y'all would know each other.
Okay. That is a good point. Because there are no elves that live permanently on the main side other than Drusilla.
And that's relatively new, like 8 years old. Like, she came to...
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying there's none. It's a big-ass side. There's a lot of shit going on. But, there's not really... There may even be one or two others in Westmarch. In town being renamed. I have another name for it. I just don't remember it at this exact moment.
Okay.
But because they brokered the peace, so there might be one or two there. It could even be a couple of dozen or something. But in Alaya particularly, Like the place was literally built for war, so they're not friendly to elves. They don't want them anywhere around. They're
Right. Understood. Okay. Um. How fast would have news of the princess's kidnapping spread? Is this something that, like, not many people would know because everyone's trying to keep it hush hush, or?
everyone within like the capital, within Alaya, probably knows about it. Like anyone within the city, and I'm sure that many of the farmers and whatnot, the surrounding area would probably know about it. As far as whether or not it's
Well, the farmers might know about the kobolds attacking. They definitely know about that one, right? Even
well,
if they didn't know about the princess.
I mean, I guess everyone would have known that the royal wedding was happening. And I mean, those fucking gongs, they're loud. So a good ways around the city proper would have been alerted that something major was going on by the fact that all five of them went off. Even if they didn't know exactly what. So, I mean, there would be some pretty big tensions, but yeah, it probably wouldn't have been like announced. There'd be a lot of questions and uncertainty.
I think there'd be a lot of gossip, but I think as far as just
Hard facts would be hard to come by, yeah.
guessing on stability, I think as far as hard fact goes, I think enough people would have had or either seen kobolds or had problems with the kobolds, or had family that had problems with the kobolds, as far as like the civilians around, that they know that there was some sort of kobold attack that happened. What the result of that was, why they did it, how many were hurt from it. Unless you're in town, they probably don't know.
Fair. And I'm sure, though, that there is also a lot of questions as to why. Because that is very atypical kobold behavior, particularly for the Skriel, for those who know about it being the Skriel. Because, like, Skriel have been allies. Like, this is not a world where kobolds are completely, like, just trying to hide and everything like that. Like, they're on friendly terms. They're trading partners.
Mm-hmm. Which also, that gives my character a reason to want to travel with the party. Not necessarily because she wants to, save the princess or whatnot. She is from those kobolds, and while she doesn't view that as home,
She definitely has the opportunity to have found out that something is going down with them, because that's been something that's going on for years. So that is what I was thinking of how she joins. Is she is heading back to the caverns to investigate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I don't know if she'd know anything about this. She hasn't been home in over 30 years.
Yeah, but she's gotten word that something has happened, so she's not sure what.
Yeah.
So she's going.
After hearing this, she put some fire in her feet and decided to get there a lot quicker than she was planning to.
Or actually, maybe she doesn't know yet. Maybe she's actually going to learn about it from the party, because the drink fairy where you're meeting them is actually. It's not within the outermost wall, like the country wall of Alaya. It is not part of Alaya. It's on the road out of the country.
I think she would have probably heard that, the kobolds attacked, which is really fucking weird.
And it is only the very next day.
Yeah, but I think news of that would travel fast. I don't believe people would know that, the princess was kidnapped and the royal wedding... They'd probably guess the royal wedding was probably interrupted. But, I don't think they know that the royal wedding cannot really happen right now. There'd be some pretty good guesses going around. But, my thought is, she heard that the kobolds attacked, and basically, that was the only valid piece that she could glean, and she's on her way to investigate, and the party's on their way to investigate too.
I'm just not sure how she would have actually heard the information this quickly, unless she had a source within the city, like that actually told her directly, or unless she was actually in Alaya.
The kobolds were burning farm fields and like
they burned one.
Witnesses.
They burned one. It was a distraction. It literally, that's why it was so far off the road. Like, it was just designed to, hey, if anybody's following the pack, distract them with something.
Okay.
Which, honestly, I'm glad that y'all did go and to it there, because while you could have found out more had you gone in after the main body of them, there would have been a whole lot more danger.
Right. Okay. Maybe she did have somebody she did pseudo keep in touch with when she was on the main side. I don't know. I do think I like her going to investigate to see what the fuck is going on. It's a good idea.
And that's what I'm saying is, that has been going... What she is going to investigate, that's been going on for years. She's had plenty of time to hear about it. I think she doesn't know about what happened yesterday, and the party actually gets to role-play that information. I like the idea of that actually being a role-playing situation for introducing you to the party where you don't know what happened yesterday.
Okay. And also, I also think, because of what she looks like and what she is, I think a lot of people will be more comfortable talking to her than than if she were a kobold. If she walked into the main city, I don't think anyone would think she's a kobold. Just due to how different she is. What do you think?
Yeah, that's fine. I like it.
I think if she told people that were like, yeah, I'm a kobold, their first response would be like, you're fucking huge for a kobold. It wouldn't be a big stretch, but it would be a stretch because nobody's seen a kobold as big as she is.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some of the bodies that have been found and whatnot that are up to 3.5 feet.
How much do they weigh?
60, 70 pounds. Maybe 80 on an outlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she weighs 280.
Yeah, she's huge for a kobold. She's a fucking gorilla-sized kobold.
I was actually thinking of reasons why she doesn't just settle down somewhere. And where is she gonna settle down? First of all, show me a kobold that she could mate with. and not have it be completely awkward.
Well, I mean, mating is not a necessary part of settling down. And settling
It
down.
isn't. But that's one of the it isn't. But her, I just got to thinking about it, and like, in her, like, if you think about the comparison, her compared to a normal kobold would be like a normal person going up to a lady who is 15 feet tall.
You've seen the Snoo episode of Futurama, right?
Yes, I have.
That is exactly it. That is death by Snoo.
I just like them. I don't know if I'm gonna succeed, but I will damn well try. Sort of thing.
First, the large women. Then, the medium women. Then, the small women. Then, the large women again.
But yeah, she's so unique. She just doesn't feel like there's any. She doesn't feel like there's anyone out there for her, so she just doesn't stop traveling.
I mean, it works. I like it. It's it gives you enough attachment to make sure that the hook is there for the party, and yet not enough that, and you do have the whole I haven't been home in forever thing, which is interesting because I had actually kind of that similar hook. I guess I'm just not going to be running Beano here. I think I like giving you that slot instead, though.
Who?
Beano. Do you remember him from the wedding?
No, he was a kobold at the wedding, wasn't he?
Yep. And when he realized how hard questioning Tudor was, or Kevin was, and honestly felt like he was being kind of a dick, so he didn't dip out a line to arouse suspicion, but as soon as he fucking mentioned the hot blonde over there, and Kevin decided to go chase down the hot blonde, he fucking dipped the hell out. But he is a Skriel kobold, and is like, he was going to be somebody that y'all ran into along the road that was going to join the party because he was a Skriel kobold who hasn't been home in like 20 years, and is going because he found out, like, he heard. So seriously, when you came to me with that, and it was like, okay, well, yeah, basically you're taking Beano's place in the storyline, and that allows me to do something else with Beano that I had also already thought about until I decided to change him into. So yeah, I like it.
Okay.
It made a lot of things work out really well for me.
Question: what color should my character's skin be?
Up to you.
She does have chameleon skin.
Yeah, but whatever you want to do.
She can be anything she wants. She wants it to be. I even had this little like role play moment in my head while I was driving of like they're in a jail. She's opposite to Kevin's character Fairheart. And like she wraps her tail around herself. Like they've been in there for like 2 hours. She wraps her tail around herself, and he could see lettering on her tail saying, "I told you so," just written across her tail in her color pigment.
I love it.
Big changes take, according to the rules, big changes take about an hour for her to make happen. Minor changes are relatively instantaneous as long as they're not too big. So, like...
Kind of like talking in combat.
Yeah, which really... the ability only gives her +2 stealth.
Which is huge, though.
Unless, she's changed environments within the past hour, and then she doesn't gain them.
Makes sense. Takes some time to settle in. And it is effective enough that it means, like, you can't immediately start super stealthing as soon as you get into the dungeon. Like, that, I kind of like that. That is a good little fucking balance tactic there. That is elegant AF.
Yeah. Oh, hey, on your thing, can you go to the items page on the top?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you take a look at this though? This is actually the one that I kind of wanted to show you because I made this town entirely on there, and also the map is actually better than this. I just need to re-export everything and whatnot because I did some more work in there afterwards. But
okay,
like, yeah, I made this town live on stream in like fucking 10-15 minutes, and then I spent probably another like 25-30 minutes refining it.
Yeah.
Like, Dungeon Alchemist
it looks pretty good.
is great for a lot of shit.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Alright, now what am I looking for? Items.
So, go over to the items tab. I'm not sure how far behind the YouTube stream is, but
I'm on it, so it's a couple seconds.
Okay. So yeah, on the where it says create scene, create folder.
Yeah.
There's I believe items. Yeah. And on it there's a class, Dragon Shaman WIP.
Yep, see it? Empires crumble.
On, you there?
Yeah. So is this going to be a class, or is this going to be a archetype?
It's a class I'm working on.
Full class. Okay, I like it. All right, 2 expert.
I'm basically trying to convert it.
3+ int. Okay. Simple and unarmed. Light, medium, unarmored. Okay. Dragon Shaman class DC.
Yeah, you're a little bit behind. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind you.
Yeah, you're way behind, unfortunately. There's nothing I can really do about that either. Except upgrade my computer.
Yeah.
Even that wouldn't only help so much. Ability boost, natural armor +2, draconic adaption aura.
I haven't done any. I haven't done any balancing for it yet, as far as like class abilities and where class abilities sit. So like some of those might change.
Yeah, but I like that you basically just like took the template and like, okay, this how we're gonna do it exactly like the other classes do, and yes, looks good. Obviously, some things get adjusted in playtesting and whatnot, but in addition to the abilities provided by a class first level, you can channel the mighty powers of Dragonkind to project an aura that grants you and nearby allies a special benefit. Projecting an aura is a swift action, and you can only project one Draconic aura at a time. You did not write this. This is an actual thing in the game, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Like, did you actually write this, or did you just, like, select Draconic Aura from something and it... Then this is... Is this your writing, or is this Pathfinder writing?
Copy. Mostly this is... it's mostly copy-paste. But, Dragon Shaman was never released in anything but 3.5.
Gotcha.
Thankfully, a lot of things just don't change. So, I might have to change how some of the auras work. Are you also on Twitch?
Yes.
You are. Okay. Hopefully your Twitch stream is a little closer to the time.
It's probably also behind, but maybe a little closer. Okay, agility, energy.
Anyways, I'm not done with it, but I got there when I was just messing around.
And how often can they switch?
What's up?
How often can they switch auras?
It's a, I think the way it works in 3.5 is it's a free action once per turn. So it takes no time, but you can only do it on your turn, and you can only do it once.
That's actually still a lot more versatile than I would have thought. I was thinking like changing stances. It'd be an action, and then
no, in 3.5 it was for that's mostly because you only get 7 Dragon Auras throughout the entirety of your career. You don't get them all, and not very many Dragon Auras benefit you by switching between them. In original, at least. For the most part, it ended up being, you have senses on until the battle starts, and then first turn of the battle starts, you switch senses over to either toughness, power, or energy shield. And then you just let it sit there until the battle is over, and then you switch it over to vigor for healing, then switch it back over to senses for exploring. Because senses gives you an initiative boost. Then you switch to the combat one, whichever your basic combat one is. And then after battle healing, and then back to senses. Very few of them are worth switching quickly. This particular list has auras that don't necessarily show up in the main book. It has some extra lists.
Okay.
As well. Like the dexterity boosting one is from a different book.
Yeah, and honestly, like I think I would be fine with adding more auras that are available, so that you're not limited to just 7. You can continue to gain them throughout your progression to level 20. But like just to be consistent with the way that rage and stances and all of that shit works, it would be one action to switch in between. And so I guess technically you could do it twice in a turn, but why would you want to?
Yeah.
But it does mean that, like, yeah, okay, you can run around with senses on to get that initiative bonus, but it's going to take you an action to switch over to your combat one, or you can keep your senses on, forego the combat bonus, and fully use your first turn. That way it gives you more player agency and more decisions to make. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, when combat ends, that action doesn't matter. So you're still going to go Vigor, and then you're either going to go back to Senses, or you're going to go to Vigor, and then you're going to go back into your combat one, because maybe you forgo that initiative bonus so that you can save the action and just be in combat readiness.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense as well. As far as adding more auras, Dragon Shaman starts with 3 and ends at 7.
But it's because there only are 7, right?
No, there are more than 7. There were only 7 in the main book.
That's what I mean.
Even with they still ended at 7, even with even when the new ones new ones were introduced in another book. They still ended at 7. And then there's but there are other auras I could add to this from other books. Totem dragons. Yeah. Sorry, I see. I see you made it to totem dragons. I had to make a change on the totem dragons as well, just due to how different the skills are between them, between the different systems. Do you think any of those make no sense?
No.
I tried. The skill system for Pathfinder 2E is very different from 3.5, so I had to change a good number of things.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is perception not being a skill.
Is perception on there?
No. But I think that's, like,
okay.
I think out of all of the changes, I think that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's a doozy.
So I did find somebody who did try and who did make a port for Dragon Shaman to Pathfinder to the first Pathfinder.
Cool. Not what we're running, but it's helpful.
No. But it is closer than 3.5 was.
Yeah.
Not by much, because they're still very different systems. But by some. So some of the changes that I did make, that have been made, were from that. Anyways, again, that's a work in progress. I was messing around to try and make things, work. I don't know coding language, so I'm having a lot of trouble making new items. I can mix and match stuff that already exists pretty easily, but actually making new things is hard.
Yeah, I get you. I understand. I have run into similar problems. But you're doing fucking great. And I love to see it.
Hey, you have two viewers.
Woot woot.
Hello, whoever jumped on.
We have nobody in chat, so make yourself known and join the conversation. You are more than welcome. Of course, if you don't want to, don't feel pressure. Just welcome. That's it. All right.
No, it's you and me on Twitch.
No, I'm not on myself. I typically, I used to, but my computer just can't handle it. I can't run Twitch. Or YouTube. I can't do either of them. At third level, you take on an aspect of your totem. Some adaptations are extraordinary abilities that are always active. Others are spells you can activate at will. Spells are cast with arcane presets. Water breathing.
I did do some changes to the adaptations.
Are these heightened or anything like that for the at-will spells?
Good question. I have not decided. Most of the at-will spells, at-will spells, I don't know if they benefit from being heightened. I mean, none of them are offensive in nature.
Yeah, that's true. I don't actually know if any of these do have heightened conditions. Have you started putting together any of the feats?
For Dragon Shaman? No. I had an idea for some of the feats. But,
I mean, you can definitely do meta magic breath weapon feats.
Yeah, that was going to be a plan, but I'm going to have to take a look and see how meta magic feats are done to see, what sort of order and, thresholds there are. I think it's sorcerer exclusive, isn't it?
I believe that is correct.
Meta magic? It's kind of funny. Sorcerers are the meta magic specialists in modern D&D style games, but in 3.5, in 3rd edition of 3.5, wizards were the better meta magic users.
Yeah. It costs them a whole lot less than it costs fucking sorcerers.
Oh yeah. Alright, I now have Dragon Shaman up. Okay, there we are. Draconic Adaption. So Black got water breathing. Here's my problem with Draconic Adaption in the very first one. Guess how many times Draconic Adaption showed up in, water breathing showed up in Draconic Adaption in 3.5?
5.
Close. Four. Four of the dragons had water breathing.
I mean, it's a powerful ability. And it is pretty draconic for, you know, not red dragons.
Yeah. I had to change how what Treasure Seeker's ability was. +5 bonus on checks to appraise items and checks to search an area.
I've always thought that that kind of felt lame compared to what all of the other dragons get. But I guess it's alright because they're so overhyped over every other dragon.
It does make sense, though. Like, Treasure Seeker does make sense. And, the original was +5 to spot. I wasn't about to give him +5 to perception. And so I had to change it to something that still made sense.
Yeah. And I think you did that pretty well.
Yeah. There's some spells in here I have to actually look up to see if they're even in, Pathfinder 2e.
But if not...
Ventriloquism, Spider Climb, and Chameleon.
I can't imagine any of them not being, but if so, it's not like we can't make them exactly the same way.
Yeah. Or I can just type in what those ones actually are. I might have given gold too powerful of a spell. I'm pretty sure I gave gold too powerful of a spell. I'm almost certain of it.
What's that? Wish?
No, it's a, at-will first-level healing spell.
Soothe?
At-will. Yep.
I mean, we're talking about... Oh, except you can't self-target. And yeah, actually, that's the one that I was particularly asking about heightened, because it does matter there.
Yeah. That might be too powerful.
But I mean, even your fucking cantrips heighten auto. And I believe that there actually is a healing cantrip.
I don't think there is, actually, a healing cantrip.
Not core, but in some of the, like, official other books, I think there is. I think that there, like, even bards can actually access it with certain...
Spells.
Archetypes. I think it's an archetype thing.
Okay.
I forget what book it would have come out of. Hey, what's good, Ski? I'm pretty good, pretty good. How are you? I've still been going. I just changed my name for a little while. And it takes 6 months before you can change it back to the original names, which is why I have a stupid-ass 1 at the end of it now. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you for joining us. This is World Building Wednesdays. We got Ben on the mic, and we are bringing Dragon Shaman from 3.5e D&D into 2nd edition Pathfinder.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
You there? I can hear you.
I hear you.
I don't hear,
Anybody else?
whoever just came on. Yeah. So I'm looking through what Foundry has. There are no healing cantrips that, there are no healing cantrips that actually heal hit points.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was wrong then.
There are there are cantrips that are of the healing school, but no healing cantrips. Like stabilize. It immediately stabilizes people.
Yeah.
And healing plaster lets you not need healing tools to do a medicine check for healing. As far as skills go.
Yeah.
Those are the two of them. But while I have this up, okay, spider climb does exist.
Yeah, I would have been kind of flabbergasted if there was no spider climb.
And it does have a heightened condition, but the heightened condition does not mean anything if the ability has an at-will use.
Lasts twice as long or some shit.
Duration increases to an hour.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it lasts like a full hour.
Hello.
Ventriloquism also exists.
Yeah, those are all very quick, easy, common spells.
Also has a heightened. That increases duration and let's see, change a couple things. Hey.
Yo, y'all.
Yes, we
Okay,
hear you
I
now.
can hear you.
Oh, okay. Y'all didn't notice when you were raided 10 minutes ago, did you?
I have been talking to the raiders.
Oh, okay. So you were known. I did not know that you knew. Well, yeah. Hey, Ben.
I was doing some work on Foundry, trying to get used to making new things on Foundry, like homebrew stuff.
Okay.
I was trying to make my favorite 3.5 class in Foundry for Pathfinder 2e, like translated over.
As a new character for our game, or as something?
No, not yet.
As a class.
If I ever get it finished, maybe eventually, but no, not for a character. Not for a character for our game.
Okay.
No, we have other things planned for you and your party.
But, Ben, will you be playing tomorrow, though?
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, so.
Nice.
Yeah, I believe we have 2.5 members.
Oh, jeez. Oh, because Sharon's not going to be there, so, okay, yeah. I see.
But you have Drusilla with you at least, so.
But Drusilla's controlled by you and me, basically?
No, Drusilla is controlled by me.
Right, but also, like, I can ask her to do things, and she can say yes or no, right? I presume?
Any party member would be able to ask her to do things, technically. I mean, she is a person. there with
Isn't
y'all.
she more likely to listen to me? Isn't she more likely to listen to me though?
Not necessarily with your fucking attitude.
No. But I'm not like her protector.
So, question. I thought she was heading back to
No, because
Yakima.
certain people who were key to that conversation disappeared in the middle of it, and therefore it could not actually happen. And so, since the direction was that she was in Fairheart's charge, she is in Fairheart's charge.
Yes.
Okay.
In my charge, she is.
Okay. Have you built her as a character yet,
Yep.
Rick?
Yeah. Although if you want to tackle a spell list for me, I hate doing spell lists.
Okay, I could do that. If you can give me a spell for the gold dragon, a spell or just some ability to give for the gold dragon's adaptation that is not soothe. Soothe is too powerful.
Why?
Infinite at-will healing for everybody except the caster.
Okay, yeah, that's a little OP. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, infinite and at-will are the points of the draconic adaptations, and the gold dragons are fire element, medicine specialists. So,
okay, yeah.
like, healing makes sense, but infinite healing, even if it's just 1 point of damage, infinite at will is bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it does depend on certain things. Like, if it's 10 minutes for that 1 point of heal, I do not have a problem with it.
Alright. DC's Drusilla. Alright, show me. Alright.
Oh, she's not built in there.
Oh, okay. What is she?
She is an elf cleric.
Claire.
So, if you want to build her, go for it. She's basically just, for all intents and purposes now, she can just be turned into Ultra Heal Bot.
Deity.
Does not exist, so we can use whatever. Some random goddess of healing or god of healing. Probably elven flavored, but not necessarily.
Elven flavor, ooh, yummy. Not in fucking Galil, though. That ain't that yummy, is it?
Not in Alaya.
Oh, right. Good point. Sorry.
Your country, the world is not, sir.
Well, for Fairheart, it fucking is.
What is a good healer? What is a good D&D healer? Or even a not D&D healer. Where the fuck would I...
Let me... Where the fuck?
Oh, hold up. I can just go to Archives of Nethys and take a look. Cleric.
There it is. I mean, for like the character sheet, you can probably just put Sarah and Ray. You know, that'll give you access to the shit that you need. Of course, it's not going to actually be a copyrighted god, but...
What is it?
Sarah and Ray. It's one of the Pathfinder gods, so it's probably in a drop-down there.
There we go. Yeah, it is. I don't know any of the Pathfinder gods, so that's why I was having trouble.
I don't really know them either, but I know that, well, you remember Say Ray.
Heritage matter?
No. I do have, I'm gonna send you, open chat.
That one.
There you go. There's a PDF of her at level 1. And she can be level 2. I don't want her to be equal with the party, but I do want her... I don't want her super far behind him either, so...
Okay. Well, we're all level 3, so her being level 1, it should be okay for now.
No, give her 2. I don't want any level 1s. Like, that's the whole reason y'all didn't start at level 1. I don't want somebody to sneeze and fucking die.
Emissary. Oh, and you gave her Seer Elf. Okay. Seer Elf. Emissary background.
So, Kevin, on Bitcoin Miner, I'm up to 132 now.
Satoshi?
Yeah,
Per day or in total?
total.
Okay.
It's like 3 days.
Oh, that's not bad. So 132 Satoshi is like 2 cents right now, maybe? I think.
Something like that.
Good. Yeah, we're gonna get rich, these clickers, dude.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Do you ever do do you ever have a Wombat wallet?
Yeah, back when I did things with Wombat.
Yeah, I don't play Wombat, but I do some of the other stupid shit they have, and I get like 1,000 Satoshis a week, maybe?
Cool. Yeah, I did Womplay for a while, but...
Alternate boosts. I had, so your ability score spread, did not make sense for Elf.
Okay.
So I'm int, hit that, dex,
Let me actually pull her up. I didn't even...
that.
I need you to fucking load it. Okay, let's close Foundry. Too much for the potato. No, I don't need you to save it. I need you to fucking load it. What the fuckity fucking fuck?
Alright, harder matters. Wisdom is more important to bump up than charisma.
Oh, you want to hear about our ghetto-ass games of Magic last night, Ben?
Sure.
So, I have all my decks listed in Tapped Out now, and they have the playtest feature. So, I told Kevin to pick either red-green or white, and he picked red-green, so I gave him the link to the Grumgully deck, and I went into the Knigget deck, and then we both hit the playtest feature and played over the fucking line. And like I'm all fucking like cast and seal away and just putting it in the corner. Like, all right, go ahead and exile your shit. If you manage to deal with the enchantment, you can just bring it back.
Oh, hey. Speaking of magic, guess how many merfolk are in the excellent set?
13.
There are exactly 6 blue merfolk and 7 green merfolk.
Holy shit, I guessed right?
And 2 of those are double ups. Because they're multicolored.
Oh, so there's 11.
So there are 11 merfolk.
That's huge. Are they good?
I've already shown you basically all of them.
Oh, okay.
So the best one is the Wandering Throne. And there's even already a modern combo with the Wandering Throne.
Yeah,
Your
doesn't
opponent
surprise me.
lets you play 3 spells, they die.
Sounds cool.
It's 3 creature spells. 2 of them are 6 mana, and the other one is the Wandering Throne, which is a 4-drop. So not exactly likely to happen.
What are the other 2?
Mirai? It's a dragon. Mirim, Sentinel Wham. From Battle for Baldur's Gate. Whenever another non-token a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, make a token that's a copy of it. So what you do is you have this in play, you play Wandering Throne as a dragon. The Wandering Throne, because it comes into play as a dragon, triggers the Sentinel Worm's ability, which makes another token that's a copy of the Wandering Throne. But the original Wandering Throne triggers its ability triggers, which doubles the triggered ability of Miram, giving you 3 Wandering Thrones. Then the next spell you play is Red Dragon, which is a 6-mana 4/4 flyer that enters the battlefield, deal 4 damage to each opponent. It enters the battlefield. Miram, since it's not a token, copies it. And then the Sentinel forces Miram to copy it again, and again, and again, and you have 5 red dragons.
20 damage, bada bing, bada boom.
That battlefield ability is also a triggered ability, which the Wandering Throne also causes it to repeat. So each red dragon triggers each of your 5 red dragons now trigger their 4 damage enter the battlefield ability 4 times. Every opponent takes 80 damage.
Yep.
Now, to be fair,
that's 16 mana.
Your opponent has to let you play a 6-mana creature, play a 4-mana creature, play a 6-mana creature. and not kill Miriam the moment it hits play.
Yeah. Because there
Now,
is
that's
no
not
kind
how-
of protections on any of them, right?
Now that's Miriam does have Ward 2, but it's also 6 mana. The good thing is that that combo is not in Modern Legal. I was wrong because Miriam is in Modern Legal.
Oh, then fuck it. I don't care.
So it's a combo in Commander that people were talking about. But if there is a combo like that using brand new cards, Battle for Baldur's Gate is pretty new.
Yeah.
And Red Dragon came from that D&D expansion that they had not too awful long ago. There's probably other ridiculous bullshit you could do with Wandering Throne.
Yeah, with the fucking 47,000 fucking cards that existed, before last year.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's probably some sort of combo. Although I think it's still funny that the best merfolk in the new set is the Wandering Throne.
What's its price at now? And is it out?
No. I don't think it's been released, but spoilers are over.
So I remember when I looked at the pre-order, the first time you told me about it, it was like $15 a pop, right?
Alright. Wandering Throne. Price.
Did we lose you?
No, I'm still here. I'm just trying to find it. Are you kidding? Okay, it's called Roaming Throne. I thought it was Wandering Throne. So its market price has dropped a lot.
And that is why I did not pre-order at $15.
Yeah. Winter 15, foil market price is still good, but actual regular market price, it's now down to a little over 10, almost 11.
Yeah, that's still not far enough. What's the foil worth?
Currently, 1688, so almost 17. But you know what? That tells me Commander players are buying it.
Yep.
Commander players love chroming out their decks.
Yep.
Why is that?
Because every card in it is a one-of, so you only need one good-looking card of each one.
And therefore you might as well get the best, since there are 100 million versions of every fucking card.
Yeah.
And since you're probably playing the same fucking deck list as 2 other people at the table, the best way to make yours stand out isn't to learn how to play it, it's to buy the most expensive versions.
Might as well whip your dick out and measure at the table at the same time.
Nah, I want people to feel envy, not jealousy.
That was funny.
Oriole, Gnomish, Halfling. Okay. there's that. Part of things. Go over to don't need not gonna mess with inventory right now. Feats. Actually, no, proficiencies.
Feet's bones connected to the ankles bones.
Okay, proficiencies. Trained. Religion. Trained. Medicine. Trained.
Ooh, 9.9. Thank you, Natalie.
Nature trained. Cultism trained. Religion trained. Society trained.
4.6.
And that looks like all them were proficiencies. Okay.
3.9. Not too terrible. Oh, hey, 60 defense? Yes, let's hit that motherfucker. How in the hell are you even up here with 60 defense?
Ancestral feat. Ancestral longevity.
What? What? Plus 10, fuck you.
Come on, initiate. Okay. So I need some more. Okay. I'll let you do the items for her.
Yeah, she's, damn near naked. Like, she was just thrown into the pit of death. She ain't got full equipment on her.
Yeah. She's got her clothing, and that's about it.
Yeah. And, Fairheart will probably be able to secure, mounts and shit. Honestly, I don't even know if you would want to. Because you're definitely not going to be able to take them into the caverns.
I'm not going back to the castle. I'm done with those fuckers, dude. Rogue.
Yeah, it works better that way.
You do not get to take stuff off my desk, even if you're going to be... Rogue is going to be 14 years old on Saturday, guys.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Happy fucking birthday, Rogue. That's awesome.
I'm making her a fucking cake. 14 years old, and she's, I mean, like...
treats.
Man, it's to the point where, like, last night she was in the way of my legs, and I just said, fuck my legs, and let her be in the spot she was in.
There you go. That is how you dog correctly.
No, when the dog is younger, the dog moves, in my opinion. The dog can climb on your legs, but they cannot occupy the space that belongs. So when they're 14, they can pretty much do what the fuck they and get a treat, even though they just tried to steal one off the desk. There you go, sweet girl. I love you. There you go. Yeah, girl. Sorry for that interlude, guys.
That would be funny. But where is it?
Well, I don't know. It's your computer.
There it is. Oh no, her class feat for level 2. That'd be funny, so I'm giving it to her.
Okay, I support this.
Sap life. When she casts the harm spell on something, it heals her.
Okay.
Alright, and now I get a skill feat.
What are you doing, Rogue?
Eating the treat my daddy gave me.
Alright, second level skill feat. Sure. That sounds pretty close. Okay. Oh wait, you also said something about a dedication, right?
The free archetype thing, yeah. Are you building in Foundry or in Wanderer's Guide?
Foundry. Yeah, that would be funny. Doesn't exactly work. What would make sense? I don't know if there are any dedications that make sense for this character.
Give me a minute, I'm pulling up Archives of Nethys, because I think we got character creation,
Okay, well,
archetypes here.
I'll let you mess with the... I'll let you do that. I'm going to do spells, now that she's level 2.
You know, I almost disconnected you from Foundry earlier. I was on stream and I was showcasing how to connect a program to Ubuntu SQL. And, yeah, good thing I was awesome and wasn't Foundry because I was about to disconnect it.
Yeah, that would have been a dick move. Blessed One.
Okay. Uses wisdom. Okay. You said it, Blessed One?
Yeah. She will be the speed racer of heal bots.
Blessed One dedication. Okay. Alright, now time for spellcasting. Cleric spellcasting is prepared, isn't it?
Yes.
Prepared spellcasting. Flexible? What does flexible mean? I don't know. Alright, and a level 2 character, 5 and 3. Five and 3. Divine Font gives you additional heal or harm spells.
She obviously takes heal.
Well, she also has a reason to have some harm spells too. But
For spells, yes, but like her font is definitely heal.
spell prep. Add spell. Oops. Open spell browser. Alright. And as a cleric, she knows every single spell that's available to her.
Yep.
She only gets 5 cantrips, though, that she to have prepared ahead of time.
I think that's fine, especially with the way cantrips work in fucking Pathfinder. Is it just me, or like cantrips are a lot more fucking powerful, right?
Not sure. Maybe.
I mean, just the fact that they auto heighten to your highest spell level. Pretty strong.
Okay. There are 5 there are 5 cantrips. Alright, first level spells. Heal. Harm. Shield. Sure, that one. Let's give her animate dead. That's joke.
Yeah, that definitely goes a little tiny bit against character.
Okay, so okay. I haven't done any equipment on her, but I believe that is everything for her.
Alrighty. I will take a look when I'm not on stream, just because it's destroys my computer to try and do both.
Right. Okay. So who do we have tonight? Tomorrow?
You two, and then Steven will be joining us, but he will also be partially distracted.
Okay.
Work things and whatnot.
Yeah. Understandable. Alright.
All that fucking having to make a living shit.
Fuck that. Huh. Question.
Yeah.
As far as AC goes, Fairhurt?
Yeah, that's me.
He raised his shield. His AC goes from 16 up, right?
Yeah, 16 to 18. I think.
That's it?
Plus 2 is not bad, especially for a regular shield.
Nah, I'm fucking with y'all.
Yeah, it is plus 2. Okay.
I'm like autistic to the point that I basically always have my shield up.
Why? Where's proficiencies? Proficiencies. Is he wearing armor?
Right now, no, but maybe someone can go get his armor at the castle for him, or he can get his armor back somehow, Rick?
No, I mean, you could have stopped by your room and grabbed it on your way to the library. Like, you have it. And actually, yeah, you could have put it on during the time of eating. So you're armored now, yeah.
Okay.
So brother, I was going through, I was looking at ACs. I was like, Brother Bonk has an AC of 10? What? The Shin Shield's armor he has count as armor for negating his unarmored bonus for being a monk.
What'd that mean?
Exactly what it sounded like. It means I fucked up.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought, but then I was like, no, Rick didn't fuck up.
You can move it from worn armor to just worn, and he gets his AC bonus back.
Okay, does he still get the yeah, just do that, and then we can just do a untyped bonus.
Because I was looking, I was like, I have the highest AC out of every character. My new character has the highest AC out of everybody here. But then I saw Brother Punk, because I saw it's 10, I was like, that's not right.
No, 10 is definitely not right.
It's 20 without that. Which means me and Brother Bunk have the same armor class.
Okay. Good thing I'm not planning on killing y'all with combat.
Except my character does need armor to reach that high. Otherwise, she's only 19.
Oh no, you lose a whole 1 point of AC if you're unarmored?
Yeah.
How terrible. And what is your armor?
Leather. Just basic leather. Anything higher, and the dex modifier cap kills my AC even worse than the armor helps it.
Yeah.
Such is the price of having a dexterity-based class with plus 4 dexterity.
Yep. But hey, at least you're gonna have good initiative.
Where is my initiative?
Well, what shows on your sheet is perception based, but you always have the option to roll perception or dexterity. Perception is usually going to be the better one because you get your perception plus your wisdom, whereas dex is just your dex, but for you it might be better to do dex.
No. Well, technically yes. Initiative can be a lot of any of the skill checks plus perception.
Yeah. But it depends on the circumstances. That's what I'm saying. You always have dex and perception that you can choose from. And then
That's
anything
acrobatics.
else,
That's
make an argument.
acrobatics and perception.
I know Pathfinder just says perception. I don't give a fuck. I like dexterity being an option.
Okay. Acrobatics, you would use this dex for the thing plus your skill.
Yeah, however, it adds in the skill. So your dex, you're really probably not going to use dex. You could use acrobatics if there is if initiative is happening in a circumstance where acrobatics makes sense.
I know, yeah. But my perception's plus 8, so...
Yeah. Like, because of the fact that it combines your wisdom modifier with your perception bonus, like, it's almost always going to be better than your dex. But...
Yeah.
I do like...
So far, Pathfinder 2E, they've really strived to get rid of any and all roles that deal with your ability scores. Everything is a derivative of the ability score. Your ability score really aren't used for any roles at all.
Yeah, I know. I kind of like it. Like, the ability scores are just modifiers.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I would have thought they'd gone the other way and have, like, more of their stuff be tied to ability scores. You know, simplify the system down like pretty much all games have been doing lately.
No, I think they kind of intentionally want the opposite direction to make things a little bit more crunchy because that's what Pathfinder players want. Like, Pathfinder First Edition was a lot crunchier than 3.5, and 3.5 was fucking crunchy. And then, you know, 5th edition just kind of dumbed things down as far as possible, and Pathfinder's like, well, let's take the kind of gameplay feel of this, but let's actually put in fucking rules.
Would y'all say it's a good thing I never played 5th?
Yes and no. I mean, not really. Doesn't matter either way. Like, fifth wasn't terrible.
Bad is my question. Oh, okay. Wasn't that bad?
No, fourth is the one that you should be glad you skipped.
Okay.
Yeah, fourth was terrible. Fifth was trying to return to form. It was basically a better version of 3.5, but they burnt a lot of goodwill with fourth.
And I'm trying to remember the last one I played. I think it was 3. I had 1 and then 3.5, I believe, because there was no 2.5, was there?
No.
Around 97 or 98 when I started, that would have been 3.5, right?
Yeah, it might have been 3rd edition flat.
I remember there being a half.
Then, yeah, it would have been 3.5.
3 is the only one that has a 0.5. At least an actual, like, literal 0.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can basically consider AD&D 1.5, and you can basically consider fucking this new shit that they're about to fucking try and cram down people's throats as 5.5.
Okay. Because I had the original box set for 1, the one that they re-released.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
It wasn't very fancy. I remember it being like $60 though, which was a lot of money in like '98.
Right? That's like $7,000 today.
Yeah, pretty much. Really fucking expensive.